Councilmember Ray Shelton,
Present.
Councilmember Michael Valdenegro,
Present.
Councilmember Richard Acosta,
Present.
City Manager Ana Urquijo,
Present.
City Attorney Dennis Fitzgibbons,
Present.
City Treasurer Luis Pedrosa.
Present.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. For the record, Mayor Pro Tempore Margaret Morales is excused.
Thank you very much. Item number 5, reading of proclamations. The first one we'll be reading tonight is domestic violence. Whereas domestic violence is a prevalent public health problem affecting all communities regardless of age, race, gender, socioeconomic status, religion, nationality, or sexual orientation. And whereas domestic violence is the leading cause of injury to women between the ages of 15 to 44. And whereas over 61 million women and 53 million men have experienced psychological aggression by an intimate partner in their lifetime. And whereas 41% of women and 26% of men report being physically or sexually abused by an intimate partner at some point in their lives, according to the Center for Disease Control and Prevention. And whereas 40.3% of children reported exposure to at least one form of family violence over their lifetimes. And 27.7% reported exposure to physical intimate partner violence. And whereas between 2009 and 2022 in Arizona, 1,459 people lost their lives to domestic violence, according to the Arizona Coalition to End Sexual and Domestic Violence. And whereas by promoting healthy, respectful, and nonviolent relationships, communities can help reduce the occurrence of intimate partner violence and prevent the harmful and long-lasting effects of intimate partner violence on individuals, families, and communities. And whereas Domestic Violence Awareness and Prevention Month provides the opportunity to enhance education, prevention, and intervention efforts around domestic violence and support organizations that provide advocacy, efforts, services, and assistance to victims. Now therefore be resolved that I, Donald C. Hewish, Mayor, and on behalf of the City of Douglas Council, do hereby proclaim the month of October 2024 to be Domestic Violence Awareness Month. And I apologize to all to have to read these heartbreaking numbers, these statistics. I've said before, and I'll say it again, that domestic violence has no place in Douglas. And I would hope that we would keep our eyes and our ears aware of that and to offer support, kindness, and love to anyone that may be affected by this. And that together, by the grace of God, we can root this out of our community once and forever. Thank you. The next one, item B, is proclamation regarding Arizona League of Cities and Towns Week. Whereas the citizens of Douglas rely on the city to experience a high quality of life in our community. Whereas cities and towns in Arizona work 24 hours a day, 7 days a week to deliver vital city services such as fire, police, and emergency medical response to ensure safe communities. And whereas cities and towns in Arizona also provide services and programs that enhance the quality of life for residents such as parks, utilities, street maintenance, sanitation, and recycling services, libraries, community centers, and recreational programs. And whereas it is important for the City of Douglas to continue to provide the excellent delivery of services and programs that our citizens have come to expect in our community. And whereas it is one of the responsibilities of the City of Douglas officials to ensure open and accessible government through frequent communication with citizens using various avenues and means. And whereas through participation and cooperation, citizens, community leaders, local businesses, and municipal staff can work together to ensure that services provided by the City of Douglas can remain exceptional elements of the quality of life of our community. Now therefore be resolved that I, Donald C. Hewish, Mayor, and on behalf of the City of Douglas Council, do hereby proclaim October 13 through 19, 2024 as Arizona Cities and Towns Week. And I would like to offer on behalf of the council our sincere thanks for each and every member of our staff because without you all, this wouldn't be possible. You're very important and you do a great work, and I would love for you to join us all in giving them a round of applause. We will be putting on social media and such different activities and such, highlighting all of what our wonderful city employees accomplish. Item number 6, persons wishing to address the council in writing or verbally on any item not on the agenda. Do we have anyone this evening?
We do not, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. Item number 7, discuss a decision on approval of consent agenda items. Item A, expenditures for the month of September 2024 totaling $2,307,951.78. And item B, meeting minutes for September 11, 2024. May I have a motion to approve the consent agenda items, please?
Mayor,
Yes, please, Mr. Montaño.
move that the mayor and council approve the consent agenda items as presented.
Is there a second?
Second.
Motion by Mr. Montaño, second by Mrs. Acosta to approve the consent agenda items as presented. Roll call, please.
Councilmember Montaño,
Yes.
Councilmember Acosta. Yes. Councilmember Shelton,
Yes.
Councilmember Valdenegro.
Yes.
Councilmember Acosta,
Yes.
Mr. Mayor.
Yes, motion carries. Item number 8, discussing decision on approvals. Item A, discussing decision to take from the table the second reading of ordinance number 24-1196. The purpose of this item is to facilitate discussion that we tabled during our meeting of September 11th. So may I have a motion to remove this item from the table so that we might discuss it further?
Mayor,
Yes, please, Mrs. Costa.
I move that this item be removed from the table.
Is there a second?
Second.
Motion by Mrs. Acosta, second by Mr. Shelton to remove from the table, the second reading of ordinance number 24-1196. Any questions? Thank you. Roll call, please.
Councilmember Montaño,
Yes.
Councilmember Acosta.
Yes.
Councilmember Shelton.
Yes.
Councilmember Valdenegro.
Yes.
Councilmember Richard Acosta.
Yes.
Mr. Mayor.
Yes, motion carries. Now we can do this. Item number 8B, discussing decision on second reading of ordinance number 24-1196. An ordinance of the mayor and council of the city of Douglas, Cochise County, Arizona, amending the planning and zoning code, Article 15, Section 1502, defining terms. Article 5, Section 501.7, property development standards, and Section 516, innovative community overlay zones, and to add a new section 326 in Article 3, tiny homes and tiny home parks. To add and clarify zoning requirements as they apply to tiny homes and tiny home parks, and to provide for minimum building sizes for principal uses in residential zoning of the Planning and Zoning Code, Article 5, Section 501.7, as set forth in Exhibit A, establishing severability of components of ordinance and establishing an effective date thereof. Mr. Kegel, please.
Yes, Mayor, members of the council, this is being brought back to you for review of added information that was requested at the last attempt for a second reading. And if you notice that in the memorandum, there is an update for the metrics that were requested regarding the sizes of homes, or based on our permitting records, what size homes have been built in our community going back to 2022. So if you look at that update, the SFR 6 through 32, nothing smaller than 1,962 square feet has been built. And the largest has been 4,084 square feet. And that's through the SFR 6 through SFR 16. We have had no permits for SFR 32. So I think that gives a glimpse of, the minimum size that's offered here shouldn't impact anything. everything seems to be trending at a much higher square footage in terms of homes that are being built. But we do have Miss McLaughlin here from Cochise County. That's our planner on contract, assisting us through this to answer any questions, and our staff as well that provided the data for you today at your request.
Thank you. Ms. McLaughlin, do you have anything to add to that?
No, thank you. Thank you again for having me and thank you for accommodating this remote presentation. Again, this item was tabled during the September 11th regular meeting because of the issue dealing with minimum principal building dwelling sizes in single family zoning districts. And if you can look at the attachment, yes, that page, it's really the final line that we were talking about. Within that table, the city also already regulates minimum lot size, width, maximum building height, density, as well as setbacks for front, side, rear, and setback. And the final line is where we were talking about the minimum building size for single family residential zoning. And as City Manager Orhijo was saying, we looked at the most reliable recent data from 2022 to the present time to see how it kind of compared to the nationwide trends that we discussed during the meeting. Of the 37 new homes that received certificates of occupancy since 2022, 31 of these homes, or 84%, were in single family residential 6 zoning. And the average size was 1,962 square feet. In all cases, homes ranged within that SFR 6 zoning between 960 and 1,962 square feet. There were far fewer, 2 homes constructed in SFR 8 zoning, 3 homes in SFR 12, 1 home in SFR 16. No homes were constructed in SFR 32 since 2022. This could be due to a combination of increased availability, lower cost of smaller parcels relative to larger parcel zoning. And in the case of SFR 8 and 6 through 16, the low end of the range for constructed homes was still quite large, coming in around 2,800 square feet for SFR 8 and 12. And the 1 home permitted in SFR 16 was over 4,000 square feet. In all cases, homes permitted exceeded what has been proposed for the minimum principal dwellings building size. And consequently, this amendment would not have hindered or necessitated a variance of any of the homes we just discussed. And again, I apologize for not having this information available at the last meeting. However, as stated in the memo, there was concern from council and the Planning and Zoning Commission that a lack of regulation or a setting of too low of a minimum building size requirement could lead to visual incongruity in the appearance of our neighborhoods and or a lowering of property values. What the most recent permitting data suggests, however, is although nationwide trends point to somewhat of a generational shift towards smaller home preference, newly constructed homes in Douglas are on average around 2,000 square feet. That concludes my presentation. We recommend approval of the ordinance. And again, I'm available for any questions.
Thank you very much. May I have a motion regarding the second reading of the ordinance?
Mayor,
Yes, please, Ms. Acosta.
I move that mayor and council approve the second reading of ordinance number 24-1196 by number and title only.
Is there a second?
Second.
Motion by Mrs. Acosta, second by Mr. Acosta to approve the second reading of ordinance number 24-1196 by number and title only. Any questions or discussion, please?
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, please, Mr. Acosta.
I just want to personally thank Ms. Urquijo and staff for getting us the data. I'm a firm believer in data. And initially, my concern was property tax. I'm an educator. And I know that our schools are, funded through property tax. But after doing some research and some clarification, I understand that these numbers set forth for the proposal are good enough. So I'll make that.
Thank you, Mr. Acosta. Appreciate that input. Anyone else? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Councilmember Montaño,
Yes.
Councilmember Acosta,
Yes.
Councilmember Shelton,
Yes.
Councilmember Valdenegro.
Yes.
Councilmember Acosta,
Yes.
Mr. Mayor.
Yes, motion carries. Item number 8C. Discussion decision on second reading of ordinance number 24-1199. An ordinance of the mayor and council of the city of Douglas, Cochise County, Arizona. Rezoning a 0.15 acre parcel of land within Douglas lots 11 and 12 in block 116. General commercial, GC, to multifamily residential, MFR, and amending the official zoning district map, establishing severability of components of ordinance and establishing an effective date thereof. Ms. Gomez, please.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Mayor and Council met for the first reading of ordinance number 24-1199 on September 11th. And for the proposed rezone of a parcel located on Douglas lots 11 and 12 on 116 block, located south of 14th Street and east of F Avenue. The proposed rezone was to amend the zoning district map from general commercial to multifamily residential. The proposed amendment to the zoning map aligns with this and supports the general plan's goal and objectives and policies to increase housing supply to meet the evolving demographic needs. This amendment leverages existing infrastructure and facilitates residential development within the neighborhood. The change also supports for an increase in residential activity in the area, making it more walkable to commercial areas and for zones of employment. Staff recommends approval of this amendment as it is consistent with the guidelines of the general plan.
Thank you very much, Ms. Gomez. May I have a motion regarding the second reading of the ordinance?
Mayor,
Yes, please, Mrs. Acosta.
I move that mayor and council approve the second reading of ordinance number 24-1199 by number and title only.
Is there a second?
Second.
Motion by Mrs. Acosta, second by Mr. Shelton to approve the second reading of ordinance number 24-1199 by number and title only. Any questions or comments from the council, please?
Mayor,
Yes, please, Mr. Montaño.
just to be clear, is it east or west of Fifth Avenue?
East
East.
of F Avenue.
So it's the area next to like Lilac?
It's in front of Lilacs. It would be west, yes, yes, of F Avenue.
So
um,
these two things.
Yes, so a correction on that. It's in front of Lilacs and the area at the moment in the front has commercial buildings. But the surrounding block on 14th has residential homes.
Thank you for that clarification, Mr. Montaño. Anyone else? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Councilmember Montaño,
Yes.
Councilmember Acosta,
Yes.
Councilmember Shelton.
Yes.
Councilmember Valdenegro,
Yes.
Councilmember Richard Acosta,
Yes.
Mr. Mayor.
Yes, motion carries. Item number 8D. Discussing decision on first reading of ordinance number 24-1200. An ordinance of the mayor and council of the city of Douglas, Cochise County, Arizona. Authorizing the acceptance of donated real property from James, Gary W. and Shelley James Judy Living Family Trust consisting of assessor's parcel number 409-06-018N in the city of Douglas, establishing severability of components of ordinance and establishing an effective date thereof. Ms. Gonzalez, please.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, members of the council. So Gary W. and Judy James own the parcel formerly identified as assessor's parcel number 409-06-018, part of which is visibly what should be a street and or public right-of-way. Judy James recently completed a parcel split and broke the parcel up into 3 separate parcels, wishing to donate the one that should be a street or public right-of-way to the city of Douglas. The assessor's parcel number for that is 409-06-018N. It's located on 9th Street, west of Pan American, to North Chiricahua Road. They agreed to pay all property taxes owed up to the date of the transfer of property to the city of Douglas, and upon completion of the donation acceptance, the city will dedicate the parcel as a public right-of-way. Staff recommends approval to receive the donation.
Thank you. May I have a motion regarding the placement of the ordinance, please?
Mayor,
Yes, please, Mr. Costa.
I move that mayor and council approve the placement of ordinance number 24-1200 on its first reading by number and title only.
Is there a second?
Second.
Motion by Mr. Costa, second by Mr. Montano to approve the placement of ordinance number 24-1200 on its first reading by number and title only. Any questions or discussion? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Councilmember Montaño,
Yes.
Councilmember Acosta,
Yes.
Councilmember Shelton,
Yes.
Councilmember Valdenegro,
Yes.
Councilmember Richard Acosta.
Yes.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, motion carries.
an ordinance of the mayor and council of the city of Douglas, Cochise County, Arizona, authorizing the acceptance of donated real property from James Gary W. and Shelley James and Judy Living Family Trust consisting of assessor's parcel number 409-06-018N in the city of Douglas, establishing severability of components of ordinance and establishing an effective date thereof.
Thank you. May I have a motion regarding the approval of the first reading of the ordinance?
Mayor,
Yes, please, Mrs. Acosta.
I move that mayor and council approve the first reading of ordinance number 24-1200 and place it on its second reading by number and title only.
Is there a second?
Second.
Motion by Mrs. Acosta, second by Mr. Montano to approve the first reading of ordinance number 24-1200 and place it on its second reading by number and title only. Any questions or discussion? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Councilmember Montaño,
Yes.
Councilmember Acosta,
Yes.
Councilmember Shelton,
Yes.
Councilmember Valdenegro,
Yes.
Councilmember Richard Acosta.
Yes.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, motion carries.
an ordinance of the mayor and council of the city of Douglas, Cochise County, Arizona, authorizing the acceptance of donated real property from James Gary W. and Shelley James Judy Living Family Trust, consisting of assessor's parcel number 409-06-018N in the city of Douglas, establishing severability of components of ordinance and establishing an effective date thereof.
Thank you. Item number 8E, discussion decision on first reading of ordinance number 24-1201. An ordinance of the mayor and council of the city of Douglas, Cochise County, Arizona. Amending the Douglas zoning code, Article 3, General Provision, Section 310, Conditional Uses, and Article 5, Schedule of District Regulations, Section 501, Single Family Resident relating to accessory dwelling units, incorporating the recitals by reference, setting forth definitions, establishing fines and penalties for violation, providing for enforcement, providing for the repeal of conflicting ordinances, establishing severability of components of ordinance, and establishing an effective date thereof. Ms. Gomez, please.
Thank you. Planning and Zoning Commission met on October 3rd, 2024, and recommended that council approve zoning code amendment 2024-03, which includes proposals to amend Article 3 and Article 5 of the Douglas zoning code. These amendments are intended to align with House Bill 2720, which prohibits municipalities from restricting the use or advertisement of single-family accessory dwelling units. The bill also prohibits imposing additional parking requirements, mandating design standards for ADUs, enforcing stricter regulations for ADUs compared to that of a single-family dwelling, prohibits setting excessive setbacks, or requiring public street improvements related to ADUs. The current accessory dwelling units are subject to the following restrictions. They are a conditional use. They must be smaller in size than the principal structure and must meet the setback requirements outlined in the development standards. Additionally, the House bill would prohibit the city from requiring additional parking for the ADUs, setting setbacks greater than we have listed in the SFR districts, as well as the city of Douglas enforcing any use or advertisement of the accessory dwelling units. We would still be enforcing residential building codes, fire codes, health and public health and safety regulations, as well as all the other applicable. The House bill seeks overall to reduce the regulatory barriers and promote the integration of ADUs into residential areas, reflecting broader state policies to enhance housing.
Thank you. May I have a motion regarding the placement of the ordinance, please?
Mayor,
Yes, please, Mr. Montaño.
move that the mayor and council approve the placement of ordinance number 24-1201 on its first reading by number and title only.
Is there a second?
Second.
Motion by Mr. Montaño, second by Mr. Shelton to approve the placement of ordinance number 24-1201 on its first reading by number and title only. Any questions or comments? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Councilmember Montaño,
Yes.
Councilmember Acosta,
Yes.
Councilmember Shelton,
Yes.
Councilmember Waldenegro.
Yes.
Councilmember Richard Acosta.
Yes.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, motion carries.
an ordinance of the mayor and council of the city of Douglas, Cochise County, Arizona, amending the Douglas zoning code, Article 3, general provisions, section 310, conditional uses, and Article 5, schedule of district regulations, section 501, single-family residence relating to accessory dwelling units, incorporating the recitals by reference, setting forth definitions, establishing fines and penalties for violations, providing for enforcement, providing for the repeal of conflicting ordinances, establishing severability of components of ordinance, and establishing an effective date thereof.
Thank you. May I have a motion regarding the approval of the first reading?
Mayor,
Yes, please, Mr. Montaño.
move that the mayor and council approve the first reading of ordinance number 24-1201 and place it on its second reading by number and title only.
Is there a second?
Second.
Motion by Mr. Montaño, second by Mrs. Acosta to approve the first reading of ordinance number 24-1201 and place it on its second reading by number and title only. Is there any questions or comments? I'll take advantage of making a comment. I'd like to go on the record to let our state legislators know to stay out of city business. This is a city issue and it should be governed by each and every city. Not that they'll listen, but nevertheless, stay out of our business. Thank you. Roll call, please.
Councilmember Montaño,
Yes.
Councilmember Acosta,
Yes.
Councilmember Shelton.
Yes.
Councilmember Waldenegro.
Yes.
Councilmember Richard Acosta.
Yes.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes.
an ordinance of the mayor and council of the city of Douglas, Cochise County, Arizona, amending the Douglas zoning code, Article 3, general provisions, section 310, conditional uses, and Article 5, schedule of district regulations, section 501, single-family residence relating to accessory dwelling units, incorporating the recitals by reference, setting forth definitions, establishing fines and penalties for violations, providing for enforcement, providing for the repeal of conflicting ordinances, establishing severability of components of ordinance, and establishing an effective date thereof.
Thank you. Item number 8F, discussing decision on first reading of ordinance number 24-1202. An ordinance of the mayor and council of the city of Douglas, Cochise County, Arizona, amending the Douglas Municipal Code Title 6, Chapter 6.16, providing for restrictions on maintaining fowl within the city, providing for repeal of conflicting ordinances, establishing severability of components of ordinance, and establishing an effective date thereof. Ms. Gomez, please.
Thank you. Planning and Zoning Commission met on October 2024 and recommended that the city council approve zoning code amendment 2024-02, which proposes amendments to Title 6 of the Douglas Municipal Code. This amendment specifically addresses dangerous and prohibited animals with an emphasis on regulation pertaining to keeping and maintaining wolves. Currently, the Douglas Municipal Code stipulates that residents are permitted to keep a maximum of 4 fowl, which must not be housed in the front yards or the front portions of lots. Owners are required to comply with all applicable state laws, including animal cruelty, county and health regulations, and they must be enclosed in fully enclosed fenced areas with enough space to securely have them contained within city limits. The House Bill 2325 establishes that municipalities cannot enact laws that prevent residents from single-family detached homes on lots 1.5 acres or less from keeping up to 6 fowl in their backyard. However, municipalities are permitted to impose certain regulations, such as prohibiting male fowl, such as roosters. The fowl may be enclosed in the rear as well. but they have certain restrictions as to where they can be located, such as 20 feet away from neighboring properties, and the enclosure cannot exceed 200 square feet or a maximum of 8 feet in height. As of now, we are not restricting the male fowl, but we are implementing the increase of 2 to 6, and the enclosure.
Thank you. We have a motion regarding the placement of the ordinance.
Mayor,
Yes, please, Mrs. Costa.
I move that mayor and council approve the placement of ordinance number 24-1202 on its first reading by number and title only.
Is there a second?
Second.
Motion by Mrs. Acosta, second by Mr. Shelton to approve the placement of ordinance number 24-1202 on its first reading by number and title only. Any questions or comments? Thank you. Hearing none, roll call please.
Is that a chicken?
Yes.
Councilmember Montague,
Yes.
Councilmember Acosta,
Yes.
Councilmember Shelton,
Yes.
Councilmember Valdenegro.
Yes.
Councilmember Richard Acosta.
Yes.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, motion carries.
in order of the mayor and council of the city of Douglas, Cochise County, Arizona, amending the Douglas Municipal Code Title 6, Chapter 6.16, providing for restrictions on maintaining fowl within the city, providing the repeal of conflicting ordinances and establishing several components of ordinance and establishing an effective date thereof.
Thank you. May I have a motion regarding the first reading of the ordinance?
Mayor,
Yes, please, Mrs. Costa.
I move that mayor and council approve the first reading of ordinance number 24-1202 and place it on its second reading by number and title only.
Is there a second?
Second.
Motion by Mrs. Acosta, second by Mr. Baldanegro to approve the first reading of ordinance number 24-1202 and place it on its second reading by number and title only. Any questions or comments? I'll make a comment.
Okay.
Ditto to the state. Leave our chickens alone. We had no business involved in local government issues like this one. Anyway, anyone else? Thank you. Roll call, please.
Councilmember Montaño.
Yes.
Councilmember Acosta.
Yes.
Councilmember Shelton.
Yes.
Councilmember Valdenegro.
Yes.
Councilmember Richard Acosta.
Yes.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, motion carries.
an ordinance of the mayor and council of the city of Douglas, Cochise County, Arizona, amending the Douglas Municipal Code Title 6, Chapter 6.16, providing for restrictions on maintaining fowl within the city, providing the repeal of conflicting ordinances, establishing severability of components of ordinance, and establishing an effective date thereof.
Thank you. Item number 8G, discuss a decision on resolution number 24-1626. A resolution of the mayor and council of the city of Douglas, Cochise County, Arizona, authorizing the city manager or his or her designee the authority to exercise the city vehicle designation exemption pursuant to Arizona Revised Statute 38-538.03. Lieutenant Lomeli, please.
Good evening. I'll be up here for a little bit. ARS 38-538 mandates that city-owned or leased vehicles bear specific designations to include both the name of the political subdivision and the words for official use only. ARS 38-538.03 provides that the city council on an annual basis may grant exemptions to the specific designation requirements for vehicles within the city fleet that are used in connection with felony investigations or activities of a confidential nature. It is desirable and efficient for the city council to delegate this authority to the city manager or his designee. The city manager or his or her designee will provide an annual written notification to the city council indicating that the exemption designation process has been completed in accordance with state law.
Thank you. May I have a motion regarding the resolution?
Mayor,
Yes, please, Mr. Baldanegro.
I move that mayor and council approve resolution number 24-1626.
Is there a second?
Second.
Motion by Mr. Baldanegro, second by Mrs. Acosta to approve resolution number 24-1626. Any questions or comments? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Councilmember Montaño.
Yes.
Councilmember Acosta.
Yes.
Councilmember Shelton.
Yes.
Councilmember Valdenegro.
Yes.
Councilmember Richard Acosta.
Yes.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, motion carries. Item number 8H, discussion decision on resolution number 24-1627. A resolution of the mayor and council of the city of Douglas, Cochise County, Arizona, authorizing the entry into an intergovernmental agreement between the city of Douglas and Douglas Unified School District number 27 for purposes of providing Douglas Police Department reserve personnel to fill two school safety officer positions within the district in the city of Douglas. Lieutenant Lomeli, please.
Yes, sir. This is an intergovernmental agreement between the city of Douglas and Douglas Unified School District for the assignment of two certified police officers to serve as school security officers while school is in session. The agreement includes a cost share from the USD for both positions. The agreement becomes effective upon approval and continues until September 30th, 2026, unless otherwise terminated by either party. Mayor and council had approved an agreement with DUSD in January of 2024, where the city was a hiring agency with officers to be assigned to the schools. The public safety personnel retirement system restricts officers who are retired from an agency to be hired in the same or similar capacity from which the officer retired, which inhibited the execution of the previous agreement. DUSD applied for and was awarded funding through the fiscal year 2024 Stronger Connections Grant. DUSD will be the hiring agency. The district will fund the SSO positions through its own M&O budget and Stronger Connections grant and other available funding. The city will be responsible for sponsoring a certified reserve officer through the police department, provision of a police vehicle during work hours, uniform and gear customary for an SSO, and access to an agency-sponsored training required for the SSO to maintain his or her certification through the Arizona Peace Officer Standards and Training Board. SSOs assigned to the district are considered employees of the district and are subject to its control and supervision while also meeting appointment requirements as a reserve officer for the Douglas Police Department. SSOs are required to meet all mandated training and testing required to maintain state peace officer certification. The DUSD board approved the agreement during its regular meeting on September 18, 2024. Staff is requesting approval.
Thank you, Lieutenant. May I have a motion regarding the resolution?
Mayor.
Yes, please, Mr. Baldanegro.
I move the mayor and council approve resolution number 24-1627.
Is there a second?
Second.
Motion by Mr. Baldanegro, second by Mr. Acosta to approve resolution number 24-1627. Any questions or comments, please?
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to make a comment.
Yes, please, Mr.
I
Acosta.
think this is huge, especially for our children in our community, our students. This provide a better safety. We do have security, but I think having a certified law enforcement is huge. And I think the students and family will feel a little bit more safe.
Yes, these positions will be filled at the junior highs. And
Yes.
eventually in the future, there might be some grants for the elementary schools as well.
So thank you, Mr. Lewin.
Excellent. Thank you, Mr. Acosta. Anyone else?
Mayor,
Yes, please, Mr. Montano.
Mr. Lomeli, this is that you will be providing two vehicles. Do you have enough vehicles to provide two extra officers?
Yes, currently we do have vehicles to provide.
Thank you, Mr. Montano. Anyone else?
I have a question.
Yes, please,
Mayor.
Mr. Baldanegro.
Mr. Lomeli, I saw today where Officer Cuevas was helping with the traffic at the high school. Is that something that the officers will help with? Or
Yeah,
just-
they'll help out with anything school related, whether it's traffic congestion. They'll be putting on presentations. I think they have to put on like an hour presentation each day, whether it be bully awareness, gun safety, stuff like that. So yeah, they'll be mandated to do those type of
Thank you.
things.
Thank you, Mr. Baldanegro. Anyone else? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Daniel?
Yes.
Councilmember Acosta?
Yes.
Councilmember Shelton?
Yes.
Councilmember Baldanegro?
Yes.
Councilmember Acosta?
Yes.
Mr. Mayor?
Yes, motion carries. Item number 8I, discuss and decision on resolution number 24-1628. A resolution of the mayor and council of the city of Douglas, Cochise County, Arizona, authorizing the city of Douglas to accept grant funding and enter into an agreement with the state of Arizona Governor's Office of Highway Safety for a reimbursable grant in the amount of $15,150 for accident investigation training. Lieutenant Lomeli, please.
Yes, sir. The Douglas Police Department has been selected to receive grant funding from the Arizona Governor's Office of Highway Safety for accident investigation related professional and outside services. Training in the amount of $15,150. The Arizona Governor's Office of Highway Safety solicited proposals for consideration under the federal 402 AI plan. Sergeant David Acosta prepared a proposal to provide accident investigation training for 2 officers. Officers will utilize the skills acquired for serious vehicle collisions involving significant damage, injury, or death, but also in day-to-day investigations. The training supports the department's succession efforts, as only 1 officer has this level of training and skill set currently. We have previously received grant funds from the Governor's Office Safety for DUI and selective traffic enforcement, which has served to increase the number of DUI arrests and raise traffic safety awareness within the city and surrounding areas. The grant period runs from 10/1/2024 to 9/30/2025. Total anticipated award amount is $15,150.
Thank you, Lieutenant. May I have a motion regarding the resolution?
Mayor,
Yes, please, Mr. Bolanegro.
I move the mayor and council approve resolution number 24-1628.
Is there a second?
Second.
Motion by Mr. Baldonado, second by Mr. Shelton to approve resolution number 24-1628. Any questions or comments? Hearing none, roll call please.
Montaño,
Yes.
Councilmember Acosta,
Yes.
Councilmember Shelton.
Yes.
Councilmember Valdenegro.
Yes.
Councilmember Richard Acosta.
Yes.
Mr. Mayor.
Yes, motion carries. Item number 8J. Discussion decision on resolution number 24-1629. A resolution of the mayor and council of the city of Douglas, Cochise County, Arizona, authorizing the city of Douglas to accept grant funding and enter into an agreement with the state of Arizona Governor's Office of Highway Safety for a reimbursable grant in the amount of $41,126 for DUI/impaired enforcement, overtime, and capital outlay for purchase of DUI enforcement equipment. Lieutenant, please.
The Douglas Police Department has been selected to receive grant funding from the Arizona Governor's Office of Highway Safety for DUI enforcement in the amount of $41,126. The Arizona Governor's Office of Highway Safety solicited proposals for consideration under the federal 405D plan. Sergeant David Acosta prepared a proposal for personnel overtime, including EREs for DUI enforcement, in addition to capital outlay to purchase an Intoxilizer 9000. Officers will participate in enforcement details during holidays and other planned dates. We have previously received grant funds from the Governor's Office of Highway Safety for DUI and selective traffic enforcement, which has served to increase the number of DUI arrests and raise traffic safety awareness within the city and surrounding areas. The grant period runs from 10/1/2024 through 9/30/2025. Total anticipated award amount is $41,126.
Thank you. May I have a motion regarding the resolution?
Mayor,
Yes, please, Mr. Acosta.
I move that the mayor and council approve resolution number 24-1629.
Is there a second?
second.
Motion by Mr. Acosta, second by Mr. Baldonegro to approve resolution number 24-1629. Any questions or?
Question.
Yes, please, Mr. Baldonegro.
Lieutenant Lomeli, the traffic, let's say we're gonna set up a scenario where, does it have to be in city limits or it can be outside the city limits, the checkpoint where
It could be outside the city limits, so they have the DUI, like enforcement team, which consists of Sierra Vista and other agencies. So we go out and we help them with outlaying, outside our area, so yeah, it doesn't necessarily have to be
within our
town.
city? Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Baldonegro. Anyone else? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Montaño,
Yes.
Councilmember Acosta.
Yes.
Councilmember Shelton.
Yes.
Councilmember Valdenegro.
Yes.
Richard Acosta.
Yes.
Mr. Mayor.
Yes, motion carries. Item number 8K, discussing decision on resolution number 24-1630. A resolution of the mayor and council of the city of Douglas, Cochise County, Arizona, authorizing the city of Douglas to accept grant funding and enter into an agreement with the state of Arizona Governor's Office of Highway Safety for a reimbursable grant in the amount of $15,000 for occupant protection enforcement overtime. Lieutenant Lomeli, please.
Yes, sir. The Douglas Police Department has been selected to receive grant funding from the Arizona Governor's Office of Highway Safety for occupant protection enforcement of the amount of $15,000. The Arizona Governor's Office of Highway Safety solicits proposals for consideration under the federal 405B plan. Sergeant David Acosta prepared a proposal for personnel overtime, including EREs for occupant protection enforcement. Officers will participate in enforcement details during holidays and other planned dates. We have previously received grant funds from the Governor's Office Safety for DUI and selective traffic enforcement, which has served to increase the number of DUI arrests and raise traffic safety awareness within the city and surrounding areas. The grant period runs from 10/1/2024 through 9/30 of 2025. Total anticipated award amount is $15,000.
Thank you, Lieutenant. May I have a motion regarding the resolution?
Mayor,
Yes, please.
I move the mayor and the council approve resolution number 24-1630.
Is there a second?
Second.
Motion by Mr. Baldonado, second by Mr. Shelton to approve resolution number 24-1630. Any questions or discussion?
Mayor,
Yes, please, Mr. Montano.
Mr. Lumini, forgive my ignorance, but what is occupant protection enforcement?
That's like the seatbelt, details,
Okay, so
speed.
it's like a vehicle occupant.
Yes,
like
vehicle
people
occupant.
inside the vehicle.
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Montano. Anyone else?
Yes,
Yes, please.
Thank-
Mr. Shelton.
thank David for doing all of these grants. Either you can do it or
Yes,
a
yes.
couple of chairs over can.
Yeah.
He's done a great job
Oh, yes.
over these years.
Yeah, we had another officer that helped him out with the grants as well this year, so I'll thank him,
good.
sir.
Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Shelton. Anyone else? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Councilmember Montaño.
Yes.
Councilmember Acosta.
Yes.
Councilmember Shelton.
Yes,
Councilmember Longonego.
Yes,
Councilmember Richard Acosta.
Yes.
Mr. Mayor.
Yes, motion carries. Item number 8L, discussing decision on resolution number 24-1631. A resolution of the mayor and council of the city of Douglas, Cochise County, Arizona, authorizing the city of Douglas to accept grant funding and enter into an agreement with the state of Arizona Governor's Office of Highway Safety for a reimbursable grant in the amount of $28,000 for the department's selective traffic enforcement program, STEP, overtime and employee-related expenses. Lieutenant Nominee, please.
Yes, sir. The Douglas Police Department has been selected to receive grant funding from the Arizona Governor's Office of Highway Safety for STEP in the amount of $28,000. The Arizona Governor's Office of Highway Safety solicited proposals for consideration under the federal 402 PTS plan. Sergeant David Acosta prepared a proposal for personnel overtime, including EREs, for the department's STEP program, which allows members of the department to focus on specific traffic-related concerns such as occupant safety, seatbelt and child restraint compliance, speed, aggressive driving, and pedestrian safety. The department was awarded $28,000 for overtime and EREs. We have previously received grant funds from the Governor's Office of Highway Safety for DUI and selective traffic enforcement, which has served to increase the number of DUI arrests and raise traffic safety awareness within the city and surrounding areas. The grant period runs from 10/1/2024 through 9/30 of 2025. Total anticipated award amount is $28,000.
Thank you, Lieutenant. May I have a motion regarding the resolution, please?
Mayor,
Yes, please, Mr. Valdenegro.
I move the mayor and council approve resolution number 24-1631.
Is there a second?
Second.
Motion by Mr. Valdenegro, second by Mr. Montano to approve resolution number 1631. Any questions or discussion, please?
Just show of appreciation for Sergeant David Acosta and Officer Owen for preparing and being awarded these grants. They allow us to get out there and work overtime and, work these details and make the community a safer place.
Thank you. Mr. Kiko, would you please draft a thank you from the mayor and council to Sergeant Acosta and the staff working on all these wonderful grants?
Officer Owen.
Officer Owen particularly.
Well, thank you, Mayor. Yes, absolutely.
Thank you. Mr. Shelton, please.
yes. One of those I had 30 years ago in school and the other one about 11 years ago. I know.
Yeah,
Oh.
I believe he's passing on the baton to Officer Owens.
Well,
Now-
that's good.
Now that he's
Joe
eligible
needs,
for retirement.
I know, he needs to do something besides play tennis.
I'm trying to convince him.
Thank you. Any other questions or comments?
Three.
Hearing none, roll call, please.
Councilmember Montaño.
Yes.
Councilmember Acosta.
Yes.
Councilmember Shelton,
Yes.
Councilmember Waldenegro.
Yes.
Councilmember Richard Acosta.
Yes.
Mr. Mayor.
Yes, motion carries. Item number 8M, discussing decision on resolution number 24-1632. A resolution of the mayor and council of the city of Douglas, Cochise County, Arizona, amending resolution number 24-1587 and approving the adoption of the updated Title VI 2024 implementation plan in conformance with the Civil Rights Act of 1964, Section 504 of the Rehabilitation Act of 1973 and the Americans with Disability Act of 1990 ADA for the City of Douglas Transit System for the current grant cycle. Ms. Gonzalez, please.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, members of the council. The Douglas Rights Transit System is required to submit the Title VI implementation plan to ADOT Civil Rights Office during every grant cycle. As you may recall, the updated Title VI 2024 implementation plan was brought to you for approval and adoption by way of resolution number 24-1587 on February 14, 2024. Upon ADOT review of the updated plan, minor revisions were required to demographic chart and a 4-factor analysis response. So just minor revisions. So those revisions have been made. They have been reviewed and approved by ADOT, and this is the final step to approve the implementation plan. So staff is recommending approval.
Thank you very much. May I have a motion regarding the resolution, please?
Mayor,
Yes, please, Ms.
I
Waldenegro.
move mayor and council approve resolution number 24-1632.
Is there a second?
Second.
Motion by Mr. Waldenegro, second by Mr. Shelton to approve resolution number 24-1632. Any questions or comments?
Mayor,
Yes, please, Ms. Waldenegro.
Ms. Gonzalez, would you happen to know how many buses we have that have the lift, the chair lifts or occupant lift where they can, pedestrians can get into, they have disability, you know, with the ramp or?
So all of our buses are required to have a lift. We have 8 of them. And then we also have the dial-a-ride vans. I think we have 2 smaller vans, so total of 10 vehicles.
And those are called in advance in case.
All of them are accessible.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Waldenegro. Anyone else? I'm going to call for the roll call before Mr. Shelton starts educating us about the Civil Rights Act of 64, the Rehabilitation Act of 73, and the American Disabilities Act. So thank you. Roll call, please.
Councilmember Tanya.
Yes.
Yes. Councilmember Shelton.
Yes.
Councilmember Waldenegro.
Yes.
Councilmember Richard Acosta.
Yes.
Mr. Mayor.
Yes, motion carries. Item number 8N, discussing decision on resolution number 24-1633. A resolution of the mayor and council of the city of Douglas, Cochise County, Arizona, authorizing the acceptance of a subrecipient agreement with Cochise County for funds from the American Rescue Plan Act, ARPA, to support COVID-19 activities expenditure category specifically for water and sewer facilities to service the new Douglas Commercial Port of Entry. Mr. Pedrosa.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Good evening, Mayor, members of council. As you all know, Cochise County has been a partner with the city to deliver the infrastructure for the new commercial port of entry. Cochise County is awarding $5 million of its ARPA funds for water and sewer infrastructure for the port of entry infrastructure project. City is working on the first phase of the POE utility infrastructure project that includes water, sewer, and broadband conduit from Copper Avenue to Cochise College. The project includes water and sewer piping, broadband conduit, and a booster station as a redundancy for the new well to be constructed near Cochise College to feed the new commercial POE and surrounding developments. City engineers are considering other redundancies such as possibly acquiring the Cochise College well. The total phase of the project, according to the engineer's probable construction cost, is $20.3 million. With the additional $5 million from county ARPA funds, the city will have a total of $19 million of secure funding from, that includes the state ARPA monies, NADBank, WIFA grant, and the Army Corps funding to cover this cost. The difference in funding of about $1.3 million will come from additional NADBank and or Army Corps agencies that the city is working to obtain that additional funding. The 5 million from the county ARPA funds will be used for water and sewer infrastructure only and not for the broadband conduit. Actually specifically for water in this case. Per ARPA rules, the county must obligate the funds by December 31, 2024, which it would accomplish through the execution of this grant agreement via both boards. The city must expend the funds by December 31, 2026. According to the city's timeline, the SR 80 phase of the project will be completed before December 31, 2026. So we should just be under that deadline. This project phase will initiate the water and sewer extension that will reach the new commercial POE location. Other phases include the construction of the new water well as mentioned, a new reservoir, water and sewer utility corridor along James Ranch Road, the sewer connection via Puzzy Ranch Road, and the sewer line crossing of Whitewater Draw via a pipe bridge. The city is thankful to the county's unwavering partnership and financial support to bring the infrastructure to the new commercial POE. And of course, staff recommends accepting the county ARPA grant agreement to be spent towards the water and wastewater construction of the SR 80 West Extension Project.
Thank you, Mr. Pedrosa. May I have a motion regarding the resolution, please?
Mayor,
Yes, please, Mrs. Acosta.
I move that mayor and council approve resolution number 24-1633.
Is there a second?
Second.
Motion by Mrs. Acosta, second by Mr. Montañez to approve resolution number 24-1633. Any questions or comments, please?
Mayor,
Yes, please, Mr. Bodanego.
clarification, where's Copper Avenue?
Yes.
Good question, Mr. Baldenegro. Good evening. Copper Avenue is just west of the Whitewater Draw. It's a dirt road, and it goes north of SR 80. We actually have a well, an abandoned well there. So that's the location.
Right across from the old entrance to the smell.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Bodanego.
It's not city, we can't drive on it, but it's our avenue, right?
Eventually, we'll let you drive on it.
It's
Any other questions or comments? I'd like to thank publicly the County Board of Supervisors for their partnership with us. They've been with us from the get-go of this project and appreciate their support, their willingness to be able to go to battle on any and all issues regarding this as we seek funding together to be able to realize the new commercial port of entry and the future economic development that will be happening all out in that area. Roll call, please.
Councilmember Montañez.
Yes.
Councilmember Acosta.
Yes.
Councilmember Shelby.
Yes.
Councilmember Bodanego.
Yes.
Councilmember Richard Acosta.
Yes.
Mr. Mayor.
Yes, motion carries. Item number 8O. Discuss and decision on resolution number 24-1634. A resolution of the mayor and council of the city of Douglas, Cochise County, Arizona, authorizing the execution of a memorandum of understanding between the city of Douglas and Studio Architecture regarding the design services for the Rubio Durazo Field Concession Stand project in Douglas, Arizona. Mr. Pedrosa, please.
Thank you, Mayor. Mayor, members of council, Mr. Stephen Helfrich from Studio Architecture in Douglas approached the city to partner with a grant application for the design of a Rubio Durazo concession stand at Airport Park. Mr. Helfrich applied for a 2025 ARPA Artist Grant that would fund art projects helping to support jobs in the arts sector. Part of the grant application requires a memorandum of understanding with a qualified client. In this case, the city of Douglas. City has been working with Mr. Helfrich already to develop a concept for the concession stand, the bathrooms and complementary amenities around the stand, something that is missing in that baseball park. This grant would fund the next step in design of the area and allow Mr. Helfrich to be compensated via this grant if awarded. Mr. Helfrich needed to show that there was an existing project and with a nonprofit client, such as the city of Douglas. The MOU establishes this relationship and allows up to $10,000 towards this project. The agreement becomes void if the grant is not awarded. If awarded, the agreement terminates upon the completion of the project. Staff recommends approval of the MOU and for the design services of the concession stand project.
Thank you, Mr. Pedrosa. May I have a motion regarding the resolution?
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, please, Mrs. Acosta.
I move that mayor and council approve resolution number 24-1634.
Is there a second?
Second.
Motion by Mrs. Acosta, second by Mr. Shelton to approve resolution number 24-1634. Any questions or comments, please?
Mayor?
Yes, please, Mrs. Acosta.
I like the enthusiasm of Mr. Helfrich in this venture and I feel like
Yeah.
our community has a lot of talented people, so hopefully this will spark more interest from members in our community who can participate in things like this. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Acosta. Anyone else? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Daniel,
Yes.
Councilmember Acosta.
Yes.
Councilmember Shelton.
Yes.
Councilmember Valdenez.
Yes.
Councilmember Richard Acosta.
yes.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, motion carries. Item number 8P. Discussion decision on resolution number 24-1635, a resolution of the mayor and council of the city of Douglas, Cochise County, Arizona, authorizing the city of Douglas to receive grant funding from the Arizona Department of Environmental Quality Tank Site Improvement Program in the amount of up to $40,000 for underground storage tank removal at city-owned property at 300 East First Street, Douglas, Arizona. Mr. Pedrosa, please.
Thank you, Mayor, members of council. The city applied for the ADQ Tank Site Improvement Program, or TSIP, to remediate an orphan underground storage tank found at city-owned property. After 2 attempts for this grant, ADQ awarded the grant to the city and has moved forward with the remediation. The city of Douglas owns parcel 40910-013 at address of 300 East First Street, the location of the operation of Aspen Surgical Warehouse. The city holds a lease with the IDA and they in turn have a long-term lease with Aspen. An orphan underground storage tank was discovered by Aspen as they were trying to do some improvements there on the northeast side of the property. Aspen made the IDA aware as their landlord of the tank's existence on the property. And the IDA is to cover the expense for the removal. The IDA received a quote for the tank of $43,127.50 and found funding program through the ADQ TSIP program. As the city is the owner of the parcel, it must be the applicant for this grant on behalf of the IDA. The grant was awarded in the amount of $25,000 for the removal, plus $15,000 for any cleanup if needed. This will be a pass-through grant to the IDA, and they will be in charge of paying the difference in cost from the amount awarded, totaling about $18,027.50. All funds would run through the city, and the IDA will reimburse the city for that amount. The tank has been removed, and actually no cleanup was required. Therefore, the city will seek the reimbursement of $25,000 and $18,127 from the IDA. Staff recommends the ratification and approval of the ADQ grant funds for the removal of the orphan tank.
Thank you, Mr. Pedrosa. May I have a motion regarding the resolution?
Mayor,
Yes, please, Mrs. Acosta.
I move that mayor and council approve resolution number 24-1635.
Is there a second?
Second.
Motion by Mrs. Acosta, second by Mr. Valdenegro to approve resolution number 24-1635. Any questions or comments?
Mayor.
Yes, please, Mr. Valdenegro.
Mr. Pedrosa, do we know of any chemical or any liquid that's in the tanks?
Mr. Baldenegro, yes, there was about 3,000 gallons of liquid removed. The source, as stated on the report, is some type of fuel at some point, but they're there's water in there, so there's, the good thing is that there was no spill. It was all contained, but it was safely removed and the tank has now been, taken out as well.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Bolanegro. Anyone else? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Councilmember Montaño,
Yes.
Councilmember Acosta,
Yes.
Councilmember Shelton,
Yes.
Councilmember Montenegro,
Yes.
Councilmember Richard Acosta.
Yes.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, motion carries. Item number 8Q, discussion decision on resolution number 24-1636. A resolution of the mayor and council of the city of Douglas, Cochise County, Arizona, authorizing the city of Douglas to accept grant funding from the Bureau of Justice Assistance for a reimbursable grant in the amount of $4,497.30 for ballistic vest replacement. Lieutenant Lomeli, please.
Yes, sir. The Douglas Police Department has been selected to receive grant funding from the Bureau of Justice Assistance in the amount of $4,497.30 for ballistic vest replacements. The department submitted a request for funding under the fiscal year 2024 Bulletproof Vest Partnership Solicitation. The program requires a 50% match from the requesting agency for new vest purchases and replacement. Agencies are also required to have a mandatory wear policy for uniformed officers. This is the fourth such award we have received in the past several years. Our ballistic vests carry a 5-year warranty and are replaced at the end of the cycle. Vests must meet or exceed standards set by the National Institute of Justice in order to be eligible for reimbursement. Fortunately, the program provides a list of acceptable products and vendors. The grant period runs from 4/1/2024 through 8/31 of 2026. Total award amount is $4,497.30.
Thank you. May I have a motion regarding the resolution?
Mayor,
Yes, please, Mr. Bolanegro.
I move the mayor and council approve resolution number 24-1636.
Is there a second?
second.
Motion by Mr. Bolanegro, second by Mrs. Acosta to approve resolution number 24-1636. Any questions or comments?
Mayor,
Yes, please, Mrs. Acosta.
at the risk of dating myself, when, when I started law enforcement 20 years ago, we would wear what was available, and I'm so glad to see that there is, a constant replacement of this equipment. So thank you so much for looking for this money, and if it wasn't there, I'm sure all of us here would approve for those vests to be replaced.
Yeah, currently we have 7 vests that are up for replacement, so this will cover half the vests. So
Great, thank you.
Excellent. Thank you, Mrs. Acosta.
Mayor,
Yes, please, Mr. Bolanegro.
Lieutenant Lomeli, these vests, are they like the ones CBP has where they can be worn outside the shirt?
yes, they come with an outer carrier. They also come with an inner carrier, depending on what type of uniform you want to wear.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Bolanegro. Anyone else? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Councilmember Montaño,
Yes.
Councilmember Acosta,
Yes.
Councilmember Shelton.
Yes.
Councilmember Montenegro,
Yes.
Councilmember Richard Acosta.
Yes.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, motion carries. Item number 9, city manager report. Mrs. Kiko, please.
Yes, Mayor, Manager, members of the council, Mr. Luis Pedrosa will be providing my report today just because of my my coughing spells tonight, and I apologize.
Thank you for being considerate. Mr. Pedrosa, please.
Happy to, Mr. Mayor and Mr. Kiko. We got a lot of events happening this month. The fly-in event at the Douglas Municipal Airport, Saturday, October 12th, from 7 a.m. to 12 p.m. Enjoy breakfast burritos, coffee, and beverages for $10. Fundraiser. The Young Eagles program will be offering flights for children, and we will celebrate the Border Air Museum's 22nd anniversary. Refreshments and snacks will be available. Thunder Mountain Wrestling, October 19th at Paul Huber Middle School. VIP doors open at 4:30 p.m. with the show starting at 5 p.m. General doors open at 5:30 p.m. with showtime at 6 p.m. Tickets are $15 for VIP, $12 for general admission, and kids under 12 are free. National Night Out and Energize Douglas will be October 25th. National Night Out from 5 to 7 p.m. Energize Douglas from 5 to 9 p.m. The location is downtown G Avenue from 9th to 11th Street. Free games, rock climbing, food vendors, skateboard ramps, and rails. Trunk or treat, of course, October 31st from 4 to 7 p.m. at the Copper King Stadium. Family-friendly event will feature games, decorated trunks, and plenty of candy for kids. There will also be a costume contest for all ages starting at 6 p.m. On to other events, aquatic fall break hours beginning October 14th, Monday through Friday. Lap swim will be from 5 to 8, 5 p.m. to 8 a.m. That must be 8 p.m. and 6:30 to 8 p.m. Open swim will be 1 p.m. to 5 p.m. Just a special thank you to all the city special events team for a successful Mexican baseball fiesta that was held last week. The Naranjeros and the Yaquis mascots were a great hit this year. The crowd enjoyed the entertainment and the game. We had approximately 1,300 in attendance. For the library, we have student tutors from Cochise College available for free after-school tutoring services to Douglas Elementary and middle school students who would like extra help with their math, science, reading, and writing assignments. Tutoring in reading and writing is available on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday from 3 to 6 p.m. and on Friday from 3 to 5 p.m. Math science tutoring will begin on Tuesday, October 15th, with tutoring available Monday through Thursday from 3 to 6 p.m. Friday, October 4th, October 11th, and October 18th from 3 to 4 p.m. The library will feature Friday fun, special Halloween activities, including crafts, Halloween cookie decorating, and creating trick or treat bags, all leading up to the free children's Halloween costume party on October 25th from 5 to 7 p.m. in the Children's Library. A free paint night for adults with all supplies included is scheduled for Friday, October 11th at 5 p.m. Advanced registration is required at the library circulation desk. The Douglas Public Library Chess Club, sponsored by Cochise Chess, will play Tuesday, October 8th and Tuesday, October 22nd at 3:30 p.m. All ages are invited, and Cochise Chess will provide all gear free of charge. On Tuesday, October 29th at 6 p.m., the Library Book Club will meet to discuss The Housemaid by Frida McFadden. And lastly, other library news. In August, the library was awarded $10,000 LSTA telehealth telemedicine grant to create a telehealth access point known as TAP on-site. And in September, those funds were used to purchase 10 circulating Medipack backpacks containing health self-monitoring equipment, such as blood pressure monitors, pulse oximeters, body weight scales, and digital thermometers. Funds were also used to create a private meeting space that residents can use to connect remotely and confidently with out-of-town healthcare providers on the library's high-speed internet connection. With assistance from Public Works, the Zen Booth Solo private meeting space has been installed and is now open for use. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Mr. Pedrosa and Mrs. Urquijo for that report. Item number 10, informational items and reports from council on future agenda item requests. Anyone from the council? Please.
Mayor?
Yes, please, Mrs. Costa.
Yeah, I just wanted to reiterate National Night Out or Energize Douglas is helping or collaborating with National Night Out this year, and 5 to 9 p.m. downtown Douglas. And then the very next week, November 1st, Dia de los Muertos celebration, also in collaboration with Energize Douglas. And on a separate note, I'd like to just bring some public awareness to some stuff that's been going on in Santa Cruz County with their their, issues with some money, being, I'm not sure what the right word is. Embezzled, thank you. And I just like for us to take a look at our current procurement guidelines, and I also understand that our procurement officer is now, in charge of project management, and I feel like that could be a conflict of interest that I would like to see somehow, separated from who our procurement is. Just to avoid any issues, because now Santa Cruz County can no longer apply for federal grants because of this. So we just need to be careful. I'm not saying that that's happening here, but we just need to have those fail safes in place, I think. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else?
Yes,
Yes, please, Mr. Shelton.
I've had a number of people ask me what the status is of getting the golf course back in shape, and then also the sale of the land at the airport. So just a brief preview, maybe next meeting, of what's happening and when we might be starting the revitalization of downtown, some dates. I've had several people ask me these, and I thought it'd be neat if, get some information out to the public. So thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Shelton. If we could have those I think we probably have room on the October 30 special meeting for a study session. We can include those.
Yes.
It'd be great.
You can get them all in there. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else?
Yeah.
Yes, please, Mr. Valdenegro.
I don't know if the city manager report was, Mr. Lomeli, Lieutenant Lomeli, could you tell us when the vigil night is for domestic violence at the police department? The vigil? Yes, sir. What date is it?
October 17th.
Yes. Yeah,
Correct?
unfortunately, I won't be here. I'll be in school, but yeah.
October 17th.
Okay, because I wasn't mentioned.
Yeah.
I just,
So it's officially the candlelight vigil for
domestic violence.
Domestic Violence Awareness Month.
Yes.
It'll be at the police department,
Yes, sir.
October 17th. I believe it's 6 p.m.
Yes, 6 p.m.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Valderrama.
Thank you.
Anyone else? I'd like to take the opportunity to personally thank the entire community for receiving the vice president into our community with open arms. It's something that may or may not ever happen again. And it's once in a lifetime. And I appreciate the community being understanding and cooperative. Cochise College, our forever partners, we're right there to assist with everything. Our first responders were right there to make adjustments and their schedules to be able to make sure that this came off very smoothly. We appreciate everyone involved in that activity, our friends at the Custom and Border Protection, Border Patrol Station, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. It really had a light on Douglas, and I believe it was a positive light. They got to see and hear our story of Douglas, of the exciting things that are happening here. So I again would like to thank the entire community for their participation and doing that. We may not always agree politically on issues, but I think the respect for the office of the vice president, it was extremely important that we showed Douglas the way Douglas is, and we did that, and I appreciate that. I'd like to thank everyone. Anyone else? We'll move on to item 11, adjournment.
I make a motion, we adjourn.
Is there a second?
Second.
Motion by Mr. Shelton, second by Mrs. Acosta to adjourn the regular meeting of the City of Douglas City Council on October 9th, 2024. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed by nay? The ayes have it. We stand adjourned at 7:23 p.m.
Have a good evening, Dennis. Thank you.
All right. Good night, everyone. Have a nice evening.
Everyone, bye-bye.
Good night, Anna.
Good night.
Good
Night.
Baseball game over?
night.
Yankees?
Well, who you're-